Hey guys, I'm here with my FET protocol and update. I have been sitting here for a while trying to gather my thoughts because there's a lot to catch you up on. The transfer is very imminent, so I'm glad I'm finding time to film this video before that happens. If you missed my previous video, I updated on our last 3 IVF egg collection cycles and the results, and the embryos we have frozen. So we have 4 PGS normal embryos, 1 high-level mosaic, and 1 embryo that's untested that we made in 2017. Isn't the best quality. So we have 6 in total, 4 PGS normal. We did those 3 cycles at the end of last year, end of 2021. And before we did those cycles, in preparation for an embryo transfer, I wanted to do an ERA cycle, endometrial receptivity assay. It's where they take a biopsy of your uterus and it determines when your most receptive time to transfer an embryo is. We did this test with Liv, our gestational surrogate, when we did surrogacy in 2020, and it is definitely something that I was curious about for me. One less variable to think about. It's not a cheap thing to do, but I just figured we've been through so much, let's just make sure I'm transferring the embryo at the right time, at the most receptive time for my body. Every woman is different. Some women have coops. Cooper loves destroying things these days to get food. Hopefully it's not too distracting and he stops soon. So yes, I did the ERA at the beginning of last year in February. One sec. Sorry about that. So yes, did the ERA at the beginning of last year. Came back that I am post-receptive, so I need to either bring forward the embryo transfer by 12 hours or start progesterone 12 hours later. So that was good to know. We then created the embryos end of last year, and at the beginning of this year I organised for the embryos to be moved to a different clinic because we are seeing a different specialist for my immune protocol. So they were moved last month. I also last month saw a haematologist because I wanted to just make sure that all of my lymphocyte surface markers were checked, the natural killer cells in my blood, that kind of thing. I had heard that Plaquenil can be beneficial for people who have experienced recurrent pregnancy loss and recurrent implantation failure. So yeah, I was keen to find out whether I needed to be on Plaquenil according to the haematologist. So he ran all sorts of tests and also tested me for celiac surface markers and my ANA, which I have had tested before, which stands for anti-nuclear antibodies. I specifically saw the haematologist because fertility specialists, I don't believe, are able to prescribe Plaquenil anymore. Only haematologists can. So it was important for me, important for me to get those things tested. My ANA in the past has been slightly positive, not overly, and it was negative this time, so that's good. My natural killer cells were alright, looked fine in the blood. They have been high previously, years ago when I got them tested in the uterus. Basically, given everything that he looked at, he did want me to go on Plaquenil, so I have been taking that. He also said that I have one of the more important genes for celiac. I don't have celiac disease, but I do carry one of the genes, so he wanted me to come off gluten completely. So I haven't been eating gluten for over a month now. Hopefully that's not too loud in the background. Perhaps I'll just close the door. Oi, oi, oi. So yes, I stopped eating gluten. I never really ate a lot of gluten anyway, but I was having oats every day, so I've stopped doing that. So that's kind of the background stuff. In regards to the FET protocol and the medications I've been taking, well, the FET cycle started 3 weeks ago. I am doing a hormone replacement therapy cycle. So when my cycle started 3 weeks ago, I started taking Zumanon, which is estrogen tablets, 1 in the morning and 1 at night. Zumanon estrogen helps to thicken the lining. I also started baby aspirin, dexamethasone, which is a steroid to help with the natural killer cells. I have been on 1.5 milligrams a day. I also started taking naltrexone. You were naughty. You're being too loud, my love. Yeah. Are you going to be good? You haven't shown your face on a video for a while. Come on. Up you go. Are you super cheeky? My sweet boy. Okay, I might just go and wash my hands. Okay, so where did I get up to? I am also taking naltrexone, which helps with natural killer cells as well, and filgrastim, which helps to prepare the lining for transfer. So filgrastim is an injection, the others are all tablets. Then last Tuesday, which I was cycle day 13, I did my first round of intralipids. So I did a full bottle. Intralipids help to calm down the natural killer cells as well. I also had bloods done and a scan. So the scan I shared on Instagram, the results. I wasn't really expecting there to be an issue. My lining has never been an issue before. They wanted my lining to be over 6 millimeters and my lining was measuring 5.5 millimeters. So it was just under what they wanted it to be. I wasn't sure at the time what that would mean. I assumed that I would just get rescanned in a couple of days, but unfortunately I was told I needed to wait a whole week to get a rescan done, which at the time I didn't take that very well, just because I'm trying really hard at the moment to isolate and be as COVID safe as possible, and just delaying things by a whole week makes it really tricky, especially given my dad's condition and how little time he has left. And I just feel like I'm very limited to be I don't feel like I'm freely able to see him as much or as regularly as I would like to be, because I'm trying to stay COVID safe for this transfer cycle given the cost of all of the medications. So yeah, that was a bit frustrating, but you know, is what it is. A couple of days after the intralipids, I had the IVIG infusion, which I have never done before. That is the most expensive medication of this protocol. It's $2,000 for me. I know it can be more, it depends on, it goes by your weight. So I know some women who have paid $3 grand for one treatment. So it's definitely very pricey. But it's something I haven't tried before, and it is an intravenous immunoglobulin, helps with inflammation and that kind of thing. So that took 4 hours. I was sure to drink lots of water the day before and leading up to it, because I'd heard that headaches are quite common after getting it done. Thankfully I didn't get a headache. You're giving me a cuddle. My love. Oh, that's a bit special. So yes, the IVIG went well. My rescan was on Monday this week, the 21st of March. And thankfully that scan went much better than the first. After that first scan, I was told to double my dose of estrogen. So I was on 2 tablets in the morning and 2 at night. On Monday, my lining, she measured it twice. The first measurement was 10.39 millimeters, which is awesome. And the second measurement was 9.21. So she rounded it and averaged it out, 9.8 something. So yeah, lining is looking good, nice and thick, and welcoming for an embryo, so that was a relief. And then the next day, so Tuesday this week, I started an antibiotic in the lead up to the transfer, morning and night, and Clexane started in the evening, so I've done 3 nights of Clexane. Gotta love the Clexane. I've done Clexane before, but yeah, ouch, it hurts. And I've got a few little bruises already on my stomach, but that's okay. Progesterone also started on Tuesday night, so I've been taking progesterone morning and night, suppository, joy. And yesterday I went in to see my specialist, and he did a filgrastim intrauterine injection, which is meant to help the embryo stick. That wasn't a super pleasant experience. I've never had it done before. The problem that he encountered was my cervix was bent a little bit, and he couldn't get the catheter, which is the same catheter they use for embryo transfers, into my uterus to get the injection in there. So it wasn't very pleasant. He had to pull at my cervix to straighten it out and get it in. I've never been told my cervix isn't straight. I don't know if it moves or what happens. I learnt the other week that uteruses flop around. But yeah, in the last 8 years of trying to have a baby, I've never been told that my cervix isn't straight, or it's never not been straight. So yeah, that wasn't much fun, the tugging of my cervix. But in the moment I was thinking of all the women who experience, you know, endometriosis or really severe period pain every month, and I am one of the fortunate ones who I don't get any period cramps or anything, so I've got nothing to complain about. It was bearable and I breathed my way through it. That was yesterday afternoon. This morning I started taking tacrolimus, which I believe is meant to help with natural killer cells as well. Tomorrow morning on Saturday I will go in for bloods to check my progesterone levels prior to transfer, and then transfer is booked in for Sunday morning. I don't have a time yet. I will find out tomorrow when a nurse calls me, but yeah, it's happening. I feel like I'm covering all bases. I feel like I'm doing everything I can, and that's all I can do, and I am in a pretty good headspace, considering my dad is very unwell. He's nearing the end, and that's obviously weighing really heavily on me. Seeing him, you know, go downhill, and just knowing that we will be saying, you know, yeah, it's a hard time, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm meditating every day. I'm finding that's really helping me. When Cooper lets me, he sometimes does that scratching while I'm trying to meditate. It makes it difficult for me, but yeah, I'm just trying really hard to look after myself, mentally, looking after my body, and yeah, that's all I can do. That's the protocol. We're transferring 1 embryo. Cooper, come on, yeah, here he comes. I don't have treats, but tricking me. Come on, come up here. Good boy. So yeah, that's the protocol. That's what I've been doing. Transfer is in less than 48 hours. Very, you know, all the feels. So we'll be transferring 1 embryo, and believing that this is our time. Just believing. I feel like I'm in a pretty good headspace considering everything we've been through, and it has been work to get there, and it's a daily practice, daily work. But I'm saying a lot of affirmations, and I am just trusting as best I can, and trusting my body as best I can. And yeah, I'm glad transfer is going to be on a Sunday, so Tim can come with me. Unfortunately, Tim can't come into the transfer room still with COVID protocols, which is a bit disappointing. He has to wait outside. So yeah, that's a bummer, but is what it is. We'll do something nice afterwards. Thanks to everyone who has watched this far and who, you know, is still here supporting and watching and cheering us on. I'm not sure when I'll share results. I am going to just take each day as it comes. As I said, I don't know what the next couple of weeks will bring with my dad, and it's I know it's going to be a really hard couple of weeks. 2-week waits are difficult as it is, but I also know there's going to be other things going on in relation to my dear dad. So I'm just going to be taking each day as it comes, and I'm not putting any pressure on myself to share straight away here and on Instagram, but I will whenever the time feels right, and I promise that won't be, you know, 9 months down the road. I haven't even thought about when I'll test or anything like that, so I'm just going to be keeping DMs to a minimum, and, you know, asking people not to ask if I've tested yet, that kind of thing, because I just need to keep my mental space protected and sacred and, you know, trigger free as much as I can. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.